Hey, don't close your eyes just yet. What if I told you there's a hidden world that only shows up when you're almost asleep? A place where fireflies glow brighter than streetlights, castles float above the clouds, and tiny fairies laugh like wind chimes in the dark. Tonight, you don't just get to hear about it, you get to step inside. So, get comfy, let your blanket feel like armor, and listen closely. Because once this story begins, you might not want to wake up until you know how it ends. The kingdom of light and shadow, far beyond any sailor's map, hidden past the edges of every storm, there was a kingdom called Lumeria. Long ago, Lumeria was known as the land of dreams. People would fall asleep and wake up with sparkles in their eyes, remembering adventures so vivid that it felt like they had truly happened. Flying on phoenixes, dining with cloud giants, or planting gardens on the moon. But one day, dreams vanished. Children closed their eyes and woke up empty. No laughter in the night, no secret castles, no magic. Just silence. And silence, when it's too perfect, feels heavy. Only one person still dreamed. Her name was Elara, a little girl with hair like silver threads and eyes clear as rivers at sunrise. Every night she saw things no one else could see. Tiny fairies hiding in candlelight, shadows whispering secrets, colors dancing in the dark. One night, as the moon hung low like a lantern, a glowing butterfly landed on her window. Its wings shimmered purple and gold, glowing like stained glass. "Elara?" the butterfly whispered, its voice as soft as a lullaby. "You are the last dreamer. If you don't come with me tonight, all dreams will fade forever." Elara froze. She was only 9, small and quiet, but something in her heart pulsed with courage. It felt like the entire kingdom was waiting for her to say yes. So she did. The butterfly's glow spilled across Elara's room like spilled paint, brushing the wooden floor and the edges of her blanket in purple light. For a moment, she wondered if this was still part of her dream. But no. The cool night breeze slipped through the window, real and crisp, carrying the smell of pine trees and faraway rain. "Where are we going?" Elara asked, her voice barely louder than the flutter of wings. "To the gate of dreams," the butterfly answered. "It only opens once in 1,000 nights. And tonight, it chose you." The words made Elara's stomach twist. She was used to small things. Walking to the bakery, braiding her doll's hair, counting the stars from her window. Saving dreams for the whole kingdom. That was something heroes did. Not her. But the butterfly didn't wait. It soared outside, leaving a trail of golden sparks. Elara pressed her hand to the glass, hesitated only a second, and then climbed out. The roof tiles felt cool beneath her bare feet. The night stretched out like an ocean of velvet. And then, the world shifted. The stars above her began to swirl, bending into a spiral. Trees stretched taller, their leaves glowing faintly like lanterns. The ground pulsed with a heartbeat she could feel through her toes. She gasped. Everything around her was alive. "Elara?" the butterfly said. "You're stepping into the borderlands, where dreams and reality meet. Be careful. The light isn't the only thing waiting for you." A rustle came from the shadows. Out stepped a creature no taller than Elara's knee. A little dragon. Scales glittering like wet stones, with wings that seemed too small to lift its round belly. Its eyes were huge, golden, and a little scared. "Don't eat me," the dragon squeaked. Elara blinked. "Why would I eat you?" The dragon tilted its head. "Because that's what dream thieves do." Before Elara could reply, the butterfly landed on her shoulder and whispered, He's wrong. He doesn't know who you are. But maybe, just maybe, you'll need him before the night ends. Elara crouched, meeting the dragon's wide eyes. I'm not here to steal dreams, she said gently. I'm here to bring them back. The dragon's tail twitched. Its golden eyes softened, just a little. And for the first time, Elara realized maybe she wasn't going to face this journey alone. Elara walked beside the tiny dragon, whose claws clicked nervously on the glowing path. The butterfly floated ahead like a living lantern, lighting the way into the forest. But this wasn't any ordinary forest. The trees leaned closer as she passed, their branches curling like fingers. Their leaves shimmered faintly, and every time Elara whispered something, the forest whispered it back. Hello, she tried softly. Hello. The trees echoed, stretching the sound into something ghostly. The dragon shivered. I don't like this place. The forest remembers everything people say here. Sometimes it gives those words back when you don't want it to. Elara tilted her head. Why would a forest remember words? Because, the dragon muttered, words are seeds. And in this forest, seeds grow fast. As if to prove it, one of the nearby roots cracked the ground open. A small sprout pushed upward, and on its leaf, glowing letters formed. Don't be afraid. Elara's chest tightened. She hadn't said those words. Someone else had. The butterfly fluttered down, its glow trembling. The forest is trying to guide you, Elara. But remember, whatever you speak aloud may come alive here. Be careful. They walked deeper, the air thick with the sound of rustling, whispering words. Elara caught flashes on leaves. Phrases like, keep going, turn back, and even, beware the Shadow Queen. The last one made her stop in her tracks. Shadow Queen? She asked. The dragon groaned. Oh no, not her. The butterfly turned, its wings dimming. She's the one who stole the kingdom's dreams. She feeds on them, twisting them into nightmares. And she'll know the moment Elara steps too far into her territory. Elara swallowed. Then, that's who I have to find. Her voice echoed through the forest, bouncing off the trees. Find, find, find. Suddenly the ground trembled. The trees around her shivered, and from the darkness dozens of eyes blinked open between the branches. The forest had awakened. Elara gripped the dragon's little claw without thinking, and the dragon, though trembling, squeezed back. The whispering stopped. For a heartbeat, everything was still. The air, the leaves, even the glow of the path under Elara's feet. Then came a sound like 1,000 branches cracking at once. The trees leaned closer, their trunks bending in unnatural ways. From their bark, faces began to form. Eyes, mouths, half-remembered expressions. Some smiled, some frowned. All of them spoke at once, their voices overlapping in a haunting chorus. Find the Shadow Queen? Then prove you are not one of her lies. Elara's breath caught. She wanted to run, but the ground beneath her glowed brighter, holding her in place. The dragon yelped and ducked behind her leg. Told you! The forest tests everyone. If it thinks you're lying, it'll swallow you whole. Swallow me! Elara squeaked. The trees answered with a low, creaking laugh. The butterfly steadied its glow and whispered into Elara's ear. The forest doesn't want to destroy you. It wants to know your heart. Tell it the truth, and it will open the way forward. Elara closed her eyes. Her heart was racing so fast it felt like a drum. But she forced herself to speak. I'm not the Shadow Queen, she said, voice shaking. I'm just Elara. I don't have magic. I don't have an army, and I'm not brave most of the time. But, she swallowed hard, I'm here because someone has to bring the dreams back. And if no one else can, then it has to be me." Silence the forest listened. Then, from the soil at her feet, a new sprout pushed upward. Its leaves shimmered gold, brighter than any firefly, carrying words that glowed like fire. "She speaks true." The trees sighed in unison. Their branches softened, swaying gently as if bowing. The angry faces in the bark melted back into wood. The glowing path stretched forward again, clear and open. Elara let out the breath she'd been holding. The dragon peeked around her leg, eyes wide. "You did it. You actually passed." Elara gave a nervous laugh. "Honestly, I thought my knees were going to give out." The butterfly fluttered ahead, its light warmer than ever. "The forest has accepted you, Elara. But the Shadow Queen will know you've entered her lands now. From here on, every step will be watched." Elara tightened her grip on the dragon's little claw. "Then let her watch," she whispered. "I'm not stopping." And with that, the three of them walked deeper toward the heart of the kingdom, where light and shadow would finally collide. The forest thinned, and the glowing path led them into a clearing. In the middle stood a giant lantern, taller than any tower Elara had ever seen. It glowed faintly, as if a fire inside was struggling to stay alive. But it wasn't fire. It was a girl. She floated inside the lantern, curled up like she was asleep. Her hair shimmered like strands of moonlight, and her skin carried a soft glow, as though she herself was made of candlelight. Elara gasped. "Is she trapped?" The butterfly's wings dimmed. "That's Liora, the keeper of dreams. Long ago, she was the one who carried dreams into people's sleep. But when the Shadow Queen rose, she captured Liora and sealed her inside this lantern. Without her, dreams cannot travel." Elara pressed her hand against the glass. The warmth pulsed through her palm like a heartbeat. "We have to get her out." The dragon waddled closer, sniffing the base of the lantern. "Yeah, but how? This thing smells like nightmare magic. If you break it the wrong way, kaboom. She's gone for good." Elara bit her lip. "Then there has to be a right way." The forest around them stirred again. Branches bent toward the lantern, and words began to bloom on their leaves. "Only truth unlocks the cage of lies." The butterfly looked at Elara. "It means you can't break this with force. You have to speak something true, so true it cannot be twisted into shadow." Elara's heart pounded. She thought about all the things she believed in, that dreams mattered, that people needed hope, that she was scared, but still standing. And then the words came to her. She pressed her forehead to the glass and whispered, "I believe every dream is worth saving, because every dream belongs to someone who still matters." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the lantern cracked. Light spilled out, soft and golden, wrapping Elara in warmth. The girl inside stirred, opened her eyes, and stepped free. Her glow lit up the clearing until even the shadows melted away. "Thank you," Liora said, her voice like wind chimes. She placed her glowing hand on Elara's shoulder. "I felt your truth. You've given me strength again, but the Shadow Queen will know I'm free, and she won't stay hidden much longer." Elara stood taller, even as fear coiled in her stomach. She wasn't alone anymore. Not really. The dragon puffed smoke nervously. "So, we're officially on her hit list now." "Great." Elara couldn't help but smile. "Then we'd better be ready." And for the first time since this journey began, she felt not just like a little girl, but like someone who could actually make a difference. The glowing forest slowly faded behind them. its whispers softening into silence. Ahead stretched a barren land, darker than midnight, where the air itself seemed heavy. The sky was still full of stars, but here they looked dim, as if shadows had climbed up to smother their light. Elara shivered. It feels wrong here. Liora, the lantern girl, walked beside her, glowing faintly. That's because we've crossed into the Shadow Queen's territory. This is where dreams are twisted into fears. The dragon's scales bristled. I hate this place. Smells like bad soup and nightmares. Elara managed a nervous giggle. Bad soup? Yeah, you know. Burned, sour, makes your stomach turn. That's what the air feels like here. As they continued, the ground shifted beneath their feet. Black sand stretched out like waves of ash, crunching softly as they walked. Strange shapes rose from the dunes. Half-formed figures with hollow faces, vanishing the moment Elara tried to focus on them. The Queen's nightmares, Liora whispered. Shadows she feeds on. Don't listen to them. They'll try to use your fears against you. But it was too late. A whisper slipped into Elara's ear, sharp and cold. You're just a child. You'll never win. Elara froze. She knew that voice. It sounded like her own doubts, the ones that crept in when she lay awake at night. Another whisper followed. Your dreams don't matter. No one believes in you. Her chest tightened. The words sank into her bones like ice. The dragon noticed her trembling and growled at the shadows. Hey, back off. She's braver than all of you put together. Liora raised her hands, and her glow brightened. The whispers hissed and faded back into the dunes. Elara exhaled shakily. Thank you. I almost believed them. Leora's eyes softened. That's how nightmares work. They don't have to be real. They just have to make you believe they are. The butterfly landed gently on Elara's shoulder. Remember, Elara, truth is your light. Hold on to it. And the shadows cannot stay. Elara nodded. Her knees still shook, but she clenched her fists. Then let's keep moving. The Queen's waiting, right? The path ahead glowed faintly, carved like silver thread across the black sand. Far in the distance, rising like a jagged crown, stood a fortress of obsidian spires. It pulsed with dark light, as if alive. The dragon groaned. Oh no! That's her castle. We're actually going there, aren't we? Elara's lips pressed into a firm line. Yes, because if she stole the dreams of everyone I love, then I'm taking them back. And with each step toward the fortress, the shadows seemed to grow sharper, hungrier, waiting for the final confrontation. And so, with the shadows growing darker, and the fortress of the Shadow Queen looming in the distance, Elara's journey had only just begun. She was no longer just a little girl who dreamed alone. Now she carried truth, light, and friends by her side. But the question lingered like a whisper in the wind. Would it be enough to face the Queen of Nightmares herself? If you want to know what happens when Elara steps into that fortress, don't drift away just yet. Stay with the story, keep dreaming, and let's see together how far courage can carry her.